Hey, what's up, family? It's such an honor to be able to come and give you this midday motivation. Just something I just want to share with you, particularly in the world, the climate and culture in which we're living. And that's this: it's okay to downsize. Think about that. It's okay to downsize. There's a wonderful story, I believe, in Mark chapter 8, around verse 22 through 25. Where there was a man that came to Jesus, was brought to Jesus. He had been blind, which means either people were touching him or he was touching somebody else. Either way, somebody had to be touching somebody in order for them to get him to Jesus. Whether he had his arms or hands on their shoulder, or whether they had their hands on him. Either way, somebody was touching somebody. But what I believe this text is tailored to teach us is this. Number one, everybody that touches you can't heal you. I believe that. That's been a principle I've shared for so long. Everybody that touches you can't heal you. And sometimes we've just had the wrong people touching us for selfish reasons, touching us for what they could get out of us or for what they felt like we could do for them. But everybody that touches you can't heal you. Well, why do you say it's okay to downsize, Pastor Wren? If you notice, once Jesus works this miracle, the man goes from no sight to saying, I see men, but they look like trees. And then Jesus says, wait a minute, I didn't die for you to have partial sight. I died for you to have 20/20. That's the whole purpose of it. And the reason he had to make sure he could see clearly, because seeing men as trees and then ultimately seeing trees as men, it would be easy for him to treat people like objects and treat objects like people. Oh my goodness. And so Jesus made sure he could see. But once the man could see, Jesus says something that's so profound in that lesson. He says to him, don't go back the same way. Don't go back to your home. Now that was interesting, because why would you tell him not to go back to his home? It's very simple, because once your eyes become open, you begin to see people clearly. And that's why I say it's okay to downsize. At certain seasons, certain levels, certain times in your life, you have to cut things off. You have to cut people off. And here's what I often say: the higher you go, the smaller your circle becomes, because everybody can't handle the high altitude. At the same time, the reason you downsized when you were blind is because you were tripping over things. When you're blind, you trip over people. You trip over things that you know are already there. But once you get your sight, you can call an ace a ace. You can call a friend. You can call a foe a foe. But you see clearly, and you know who to keep and who to let go. I want you to not be afraid to downsize. Whenever you start downsizing, it only proves that you have 20/20 vision. And it doesn't mean that they're wrong. It doesn't mean you're right. It only means that you can see where you're going now. And there's some people and some things you don't need where you are right now. I love you. I'm praying for you. But it is my prayer that you have the strength, the courage, and the power to downsize when necessary, so that God can do even greater in your life. I love you, and I'm praying for you. And until next time, let's keep building the kingdom, one person at a time. But don't forget, downsizing is important. Be blessed.